All right, you guys, welcome to Vinny's Talk. Welcome you guys to Vinny's Talk. We're in December here. And tonight, we are still and gonna keep covering the Idaho 4 case, man. And we're gonna be talking a little bit about it. And I keep hearing a lot of chatter about this becoming a cold case. This is never, right now, I don't think it's gonna become a cold case. Because we really need, and I believe that we will find, you guys can see my shirt. I really believe we will find this guy, whoever this perpetrator is, and we will bring justice for Kaylee Madison, Ethan, and Xana. And it's very crazy in this case because everything that's going down and all the news outlets that are keep covering it, but I really do believe that that we're not really getting a lot of answers from law enforcement, and I really do believe we need more answers, guys. We need the law enforcement to come forward and just give us more in detail what the hell is going on here. It's just one way. One day it's one thing. The next day it's another. They don't have, we don't really truly know what they do and they don't have, but we're learning that we don't really know a lot as far as what the hell is going on. Once again, guys, subscribe to my videos, hit that notification bell, like this video though. Anyways, these are just my opinions and my thoughts. We need answers into this. Watching the parents at the vigil was very emotional for them. Very emotional watching it. And learning how they could just lose their kids like this. Knowing that the killer is still, on the loose. And I'm just, I'm really trying to just in my head think about why would someone want to do this to these kids? And then learning about their stories, it hurt me, man. It really did. I'll be doing a special tribute and a little celebration of life for Miss Kaylee Goncalves. All right, that's gonna be probably in the next week or two. Probably next week. I got to put it together. I'm just gonna say some nice words and read off of her memorial, and just it's all about bringing justice and her keeping her spirit alive. The night before, the night leading up to the tragic passing of them, and then reading into the story about how they were at the grub truck, and Maddie and Kaylee had been together that night for basically the whole night before they went home. And when we're watching that video, we're seeing that we were seeing that one dude in the hoodie, and for me personally, I really do feel like, in my personal opinion, I really do feel like they were clearing people a lot earlier than maybe law enforcement should have. Now, I'm not trying to knock you guys, because I'm truly rooting for law enforcement in this case. I just feel like they really are pushing this, and they messed up in the very beginning by saying this is a targeted attack, which they had to walk back on that. They walked it back. And I mean, saying that this was a targeted attack when they really had no solid evidence that it was a targeted attack. I mean, only to know that now they're saying that they still believe that is a targeted, whether or not it's targeted or not targeted, or if the residence is targeted. We have a killer on our hands that hasn't been caught, which needs to be brought to justice, right? Now, this whole time, me personally, I've had this feeling in my bones that, in a way, it could be targeted, but I just feel like, man, the lesser we know, it almost feels like this could be a serial killer, an unknown random person doing this, right? Some may think different, some may not. But I really do feel like the more the time goes on and the less that we know, it's going to be harder for it to catch this fool, right? It's going to be harder for it to catch this fool. But I know that, in time, keep having that faith in the Lord. Some may not be religious that are listening to my podcast, but that's okay. I'm not really religious. I just have faith. And I believe in a higher power, right? Me personally, I believe in Jesus Christ. But I'm not going to get into religion. I'm just saying, like, I pray every night. And it's really hard when I'm covering this case to sleep at night, to think about the tragic that happened at that house. And then also, I just keep wondering in the back of my mind, when are they going to catch this guy? I really hope that they could find him or find whoever is responsible, because it's hard for me to sleep thinking about this. I'm in my bed thinking about it, and I'm wondering what the hell is going on with this case, and knowing that someone is still out there and still roaming around and probably watching true crime and all of the different YouTube channels out there, and probably looking at us like we're crazy. But that person is a crazy one, because I believe that justice will be served, right? Justice will be served, but it might take some time. It's almost like it's so hard to explain sometimes, because you're just thinking about it. How could someone do this? But then you're also like trying to retrack and recap and think about this case. Now, I do have some questions about the frat, right? The fraternity where Ethan and Xana were. We didn't really know too much about the whereabouts leading up to the time they had came home on about 1:45 or 1:56, whatever. I think that's the time they came home. But we didn't really know about the whereabouts of where they were. They were just seen to be between, it was at 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock. They were seen that the fraternity at the frat house, right? Which is like not even a minute. It's literally like a minute from the house, right? At the crime scene. Sigma Chi, as they may call it. Did something possibly go down at the fraternity house? Now, I know there was a 911 call, I believe, around that time. Was it 2-something, 3 in the morning? But was it related to the murders? Now, we don't really know that, but I'm just saying, like, the whereabouts of where they were and what had happened. Maybe could it be? Anything's possible, especially in this case. Could it be something might have happened? I'm not sure, but it's really interesting to me that where Xana and Ethan were. Could it be Ethan and Xana that the killer was targeted instead of Madison and Kaylee, or was he targeted to all of them? Now we also do know that there was confirmed that there was a 6-person renting or staying at that residence. I don't know if they had moved out beforehand or they weren't there, but I know they weren't there. It's confirmed that there was another person said to be there beforehand. Man, it's just really sad that we lose 4 bright souls, right? They had their life ahead of them, and we're still trying to dig down and figure out what the hell, any leads or any different things that could lead us to the killer, because it's only a matter of time. I really do feel like we need to keep, as a YouTuber myself, I want to challenge all the YouTubers out there to keep talking about this case, because this is a case that needs to keep getting heard and people need to keep talking about it so we can spread the word. Just keep coming up with stuff to try to get down to the bottom of it, the tips, the whereabouts, and what the hell happened that night, so we can get justice for Ethan, Kaylee, Madison, and Xana. We need justice for these wonderful souls, man. They did not deserve it. Their parents You got to remember, man, their parents are hanging in there very strong. You know, salute you. So if you guys see my video, you know, I support and I say a prayer for you guys too. And even though it's hard for me to talk about this, because even when I was covering Gavin Petito and Kylie Rodney case and all these other cases, I'm very into passion. Like, I get passionate about it, and just video after video, and thinking about of why these things happen. Like I said, guys, sometimes I be thinking about it right before I go to bed, and I just can't sleep to think that there is a killer still on the loose. And like I said, man, for law enforcement to say that this is, well, for me to say that I would disagree with law enforcement to say, no, it's not a target attack. No, it could be a target attack. But I just feel in my bones, that there's some way, somehow, that I just don't feel like he is, or whoever it is, I don't know, man. It just feels like this person had it out for these kids. Whether he was stalking, waiting for that right moment, right? He kind of just, I don't know. There's little different, when you look at the house and you look at the screen and how certain parts of the house was dark, and then you have certain parts that were kind of lit up, you know what I'm saying? Like by the slider, by the second floor, by the slider, how it was all lit up there. And then another part of the window was kind of like dark, so you could kind of just creep in there. I don't know, man, but that seems very sketchy. Maybe, possibly, did he go in that window there and get in that way? A lot of people are thinking that he went through the slider. He could have went through the sliding door, but that part where if he were to go through the slider, you could actually see that it's very well lit. So it wouldn't be a great smart idea to go there, because people would be able to see him, correct? Right? But then again, it was really late, early morning. But then again, you ask yourself, and you have to see, was he or she, whoever this person, how did he leave? He sure as hell didn't leave, or they didn't leave a blood trace. Well, we don't know about that, but from what LE is saying, there's no blood trace. They haven't found any type of evidence of that sort, or maybe we don't know. Maybe they're not sharing. I just feel like the communication on law enforcement wasn't the greatest on their part, and they need to communicate better with the public, especially in the Idaho community. Can you imagine living in Moscow and having to worry about the next day, and there's a killer on the loose, and you're going to sleep at night? Wow. You know, it's a lot to take in, guys. It's a lot to take in, you know, dealing with a case of this magnitude happening in a small town of this magnitude. I honestly don't think that law enforcement was prepared for this many killings, dude. I mean, it's crazy. Anyways, like I said before, I really feel like justice will be served. It just will take some time. I will be doing another video. I will be covering this case. I'll be doing a little celebration of life for Miss Kaylee Gonzalez. How you say her last name? Goncalves. Rest in peace. There's so many things to look at. And like I said this before, the fraternity, I have wonders about, because we don't know a whole lot into the timeline about where they were, Mrs. Xana and Mr. Ethan, where they were. All we know is that they were between 8 and 9 o'clock. They had said to be at the fraternity. What were they doing? Did something pop off beforehand? I'm hearing speculation of that they were at a bar They were at a bar. So if they indeed were at a bar, did something pop off at the bar that they were at? Did something go wrong? Did someone follow them home to the house, right? Or was someone already at the house when they all had got back home? Said to be between 1:45 and 1:56 in the morning. But then you ask yourself, if they got home at that time and the killing was said to be between 3 and 4 in the morning, the calls were made. There were 6 to 7 calls made from Kaylee's phone out to Jack, her ex-boyfriend. Wow. I wonder where they were all at in the house before then, right? And I did take a look at some of the TikToks that were uploaded from Kaylee and Xana, and I noticed that, I mean, nothing out of the ordinary, but I noticed that they did do a lot of filming inside of the house, putting it on TikTok, like on the public. I mean, you gotta remind you guys, whether you're doing all these different videos and you're showing like the layout of the house, could it be that the killer or whoever was responsible for this seen this? You know, they're in the living room, they're taking a lot of different pictures on that second floor deck area that I was showing, or that I was telling you guys about, that was really well lit. So honestly, I can honestly say that it could be very true that the killer might have went through that sliding door, or he could have went through that window by that screen. No signs of forced entry, but could he pop that screen off and just went right into that screen on the side there on the second floor? It sure as hell could be very true. It sure as hell could be that way, right, guys? I'm not sure. I'm just saying. I'm just speculating, right? But I'm putting my opinion on it because I'm trying to think and like the whereabouts where everybody was at, because this house that they were living in was it was built really weird, man. Definitely different, not your average house, right? But yeah, so just trying to come up with what the hell had happened. And then law enforcement saying one thing, you know, they're saying that this is targeted. But then the lead prosecutor's like, we have a miscommunication with law enforcement. And then they're saying that they don't know if this residence was specifically targeted or people inside was targeted, but they believe still that it's a targeted attack. But yet having all this whole community on edge, right? And I know the parents are very, very stressed from this, man. They just want answers. Like, what are you guys doing? Please give us answers. You know, Maddie and Kaylee were said to be in the same room, in the same bed. Kaylee's dad revealed that at the visual. And that's crazy to me, because that right there tells you something. So if Maddie and Kaylee were in the same room, it was said to be that Xana's dad had been there a weekend before or something like that to check the locks or something on the doors. And there was set, I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm just speculating on this part. There was said to be locks, keypad locks on each door of their bedrooms. I don't know how true this is, but it seems to be true from what I've read and what I've heard. But like I said, I just want to say this is my opinion and my thoughts. So yes. But was the door that possibly that the person had came in, and was it unlocked when the killer came? But we did know that Kaylee and Madison and Maddie, you know, aka Maddie, you know, they were very close friends, man. So they did a lot together. But it's crazy that how her dad said that they've traveled together, they lived together, they've partied together, they went to different countries together, Hawaii and different places of this magnitude and fun, and they ultimately died together. Very crazy, man. That was like her road dog, man. Like her best friend, man. Bestie. you know, Maddie and Kaylee, they had their whole lives ahead of them. And I can't say this enough, but so mad prayers and mad respect to these wonderful, beautiful ladies. We got to keep their spirits, you know, high. Their spirits will remain alive, man, no matter what. No matter what. The families, you guys got my word. I will keep the passion alive, man. Just like I do with Gabs, man. Gabby Petito. We love Gabby in this channel. The way her death was and the way everything went, you know, it was very tragic. But Gabby, her story lives on. Just like these kids, this is a very fresh case. But their stories will live on because this has touched the world, guys, right? Kaylee and Xana and Ethan, you know, even Ethan, man. Ethan's background, and you know, he was a very passionate person as well, and the man loved to go skiing on the water, right? He loved golfing. So each of these persons has a story. Each of these wonderful kids were living. They were passionate. They were alive, man. They were here. So when you talk about these cases, you have to remember that these were once living real people we're talking about here. Kaylee, Ethan, Xana, and Maddie. Madison, we'll say, aka Maddie and Kay, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace. These kids, they were once here and living. So that's why I said put some respect on their name. You know, we talk about these cases. It's real life, man. You know, it's true crime to the fullest. And you know, I the next podcast I'm gonna do, I'm still gonna cover this case. I'm still gonna talk about it and give you guys updates and whatnot. But I do want to do a celebration of life. Miss Kaylee. You know, I feel connected to her story, man, and what she was gonna do. And she was gonna be going backpacking across Europe. Her and Maddie, like they love to travel together. So that's amazing. That's amazing, dude. Like, you know, she was just trying to show her the car. She wasn't even gonna live there, dude. Like she wasn't even going back to there to live. She was just going to show Maddie how nice that her car was, right? She had a Range Rover. That fucking a Range Rover, dude. A Range Rover, right? So when you think about this case, you get sad, but you also want to, you know, you want to get to the bottom of it, man. You want to figure out who was responsible for this. And like I said, I keep thinking about who this person was targeting. If he was targeting anybody, was he stalking? Did he know who these girls were? Kaylee mentioned she had a stalker. Well, law enforcement didn't confirm that she had a stalker, but she could have damn well had one, right? But I think it really comes close to could have something went down that night, you know, at the bar. Even when Maddie and Kaylee were at the bar. At the corner club. I think about that too. I think about, did something go down in there where someone has seen them in there? Maybe she cussed at somebody or some shit. I don't know. I'm just at this point I was just speculating about that. But something could have went down, right? Something could have went down at the bar. But I'm not sure. Now when we watched that food truck in the live streaming from the Twitch, right? From their food truck. And you see the girls chilling, you know, they're getting their food, everything's cool. And then, you know, the police, the law enforcement, they rule out this one, they rule out that one. And maybe they should have not ruled out so many people at once so fast, right? We think about that too. So these are more questions that I have. And I feel like as this case keeps going on, we need to be able to communicate with the community more, right? And I really do believe, because I'm rooting for I'm rooting for Moscow, right? I'm rooting for them to find this person, bring forth justice. but not make errors in giving us not hope. We need hope. That's what we need here. But yeah, guys, it's a very emotional roller coaster with this case. So, this is a lot. But, watching my videos and everybody, I appreciate the love and support, guys. It's your boy Vinny D, the young wolf, man. Vinny's Talk, true crime talk. You guys, I hope you guys keep watching all my videos. Like, subscribe to my videos. And guess what, man? Until the next time, peace out, guys. Peace.